there's one thing that I love about nostalgia is being able to go back in time to just rewatch and replay all of the video games, all of the TV shows that we all grew up watching as we were kids. Even realize as adults now we cannot live in the past forever because we are living in the 2020, and so we have to like try to just adapt to it, but remain nostalgic forever, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. So shout out to Retro Blast on Twitter for having the same thought as we're all thinking of our favorite franchise. I don't think any franchise means the world to me than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These four rad dudes were a huge part of my childhood as an 80s and 90s kid, and my life wouldn't be the same without them. Do you agree? There's a reason why I agree with their statement is because I feel the exact same way about my family and the childhood franchises that I grew up with. Like, for instance, like a few months ago, I was thinking about my old neighborhood, Brainwash Street, and I was Googling like crazy because I just missed the 90s so much, in my opinion. So it really made me think of my childhood with playing, the Sega Genesis and watching the 90s TV shows that I grew up watching. And it made me think about the times when I was a kid when the 1990s were a thing to me. And so after I was looking through my family pictures of where we used to live at and just scrolling through my family photos album in my, well, like you want to think about memories, you always have to look at your family album, and that was exactly what I was doing that day, and I couldn't help but to just think about old school memories that I have with Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, and the exact same way I felt about my family growing up. So as times went on, I feel like the Ninja Turtles were a huge part of my life growing up because I remember just watching an old episode of 1987's Ninja Turtles. It was a season three episode where the Turtles and April O'Neil and them were floating in the air and trying to figure out how to reverse gravity. I mean, for those of you who watched the 87 TV show, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was on VHS. And after that, they used to always play a trailer of all of the episodes from different seasons. But there was a trailer of the 1990s movie that kept popping up. And it kept having me thinking, should I watch the movie or should I play the games? Because I remember back in 2003 when TMNT 03 came out for the first time on Fox. Now they call it 4 Kids, which is kind of dumb to me, but I didn't care because it was pretty much Ninja Turtles back on TV. So as I was watching the show and playing the game, it made me miss the Sega Genesis video game that I grew up on, like the Hyperstone Heist, for example. And I'm glad that the Cowabunga collection was able to have all of 13 games that I'm able to play. But I feel like it was the Hyperstone Heist that really got me back on the fandom. But as I got older, when I first turned like 11 or 12 or 13, I remember going to Walmart after we got finished eating at Golden Corral. Shout out to my grandparents. Um, I remember seeing and asking my grandpa to please buy this VHS tape for me because I love Ninja Turtles, and he brought it for me. And after that, I popped the VHS in my VCR, and the moment I saw the movie, the title screen, and how the turtles look in real time, I was instantly hooked immediately because of the storyline with Splinter gone missing, and the turtles had this little drama going on. April O'Neil's complicated family, her son is a mess, to the final fight with the Shredder on the rooftop and his introduction in the film. Oh my God, what a time to be a Ninja Turtles fan and what a time to be alive. And so after that, I just became a huge Ninja Turtles fan. But it wasn't around 2012 when the 2012 TV show came out, and I was really hooked. Once again, I got back in the show, the franchise, because of that. And ironic enough, Ernie Reyes Jr., because he was the one that played Kenny, and I think Ken or whatever his character's name was in the second Ninja Turtles movie. His character was a reason why I love Ninja Turtles. That and the secret bodyguard that he did. I think it was a Disney special. I don't know, but watching that special made me love Ninja Turtles because of the VFX, the sound effects, the visuals, and Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character fighting these thugs, and the story about being a tournament or whatever though. But and even Surf Ninjas, he was a huge part of my life growing up, and like 2012 and 2013 were a huge part of my life, in my opinion, because of Ernie Reyes Jr. and me scrolling through YouTube trying to find the TMNT Hyperstone Heist gameplay because of him, and how my love for Ninja Turtles really grew stronger, and watching Double Impact because of the music, and the Double Impact music soundtrack was way darker. It made me think of the Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time. Like, this is just me being in my nostalgic mode because I love Ninja Turtles. I love what they did for me growing up. It was just something that I just need to talk about because what this guy posted on Twitter, and I just realized that even though we're all living in nostalgic mode because we all miss the 90s, but at the same time we have to realize that we're all adults, and sometimes we need to live in I guess 21st century, but our hearts will always be in nostalgia, whether you're going out of town visiting a family member, like me going to Rock Hill, South Carolina, because that is the area that I grew up in with my cousins. Because every time we go out there, I always think about my uncles, my cousins, and we were always out playing with each other, enjoying each other's companies, and like I miss those times. And yeah, this is just me wanting to talk to you all about Ninja Turtles, why I love them so much as well, and life in general. So I just want to throw some teeny bitty stuff in there. So yeah, what are your thoughts on? Let me know.